What's up, guys? I don't usually do this, but I wanted to preface this video by providing some additional context. What you're about to view is a VOD from a live stream after the subject of concerns with Blue Protocol came up. After playing the beta test for 40 hours last week, I had only one other major concern.
I think they have to add more character customization options. I feel like there's not enough
Outside of the drop rates, and I'm really surprised that no one has been actually talking about this. I'm posting this video to shed some awareness on this issue in hopes that we will have a better, more improved version of Blue Protocol. This is a game I'm super excited about and I'm super hopeful for. This is precisely the reason I feel it's even more important to be critical about this game, especially pre-release, where changes can actually be made.
Yeah.
Catch me on Twitch if you want to chat with me personally. I'm streaming Blue Protocol content regularly and will continue to do so until launch.
Oh shit, what the fuck?
One of the things that I don't think is being talked about enough, a lot of people are focusing on like the progression path right now with Blue Protocol, right? A lot of people are focusing on this adventure board, the drop rate, and I've already voiced my opinion on that. I was like one of the first people in the West, probably the first person in the West, live on stream that was talking about how this needs to be changed, right? That's been addressed.
Yeah, Canada was one of the first people playing the game.
The thing that isn't getting talked about enough in the West, that is, in my opinion, a bigger concern than the leveling, is the itemization. It's honestly, I'm trying to think of other games right now, but it might be the most, I'm not going to say bad. The word I'm going to use is lackluster. I think it's honestly the most lackluster itemization in any MMORPG I've ever seen. So let's break this down.
Holy
what is the
shit.
itemization like? A lot of you know, a lot of you guys in chat that played the beta test, you know, a lot of you guys that saw my stream, you guys know because I've voiced this a number of times. Not only on stream, but I also voiced it in my YouTube video. So right now, the system, this is how it is. There's no armor in the game. You have a weapon, and that's it. Outside of the weapon, you have imagines. Okay, you have 7 totally imagines. I believe 7. 5.
You only have a weapon. Well, like, what if you, like, I mean, if you're, like, a knight, like, what are you wearing, though? Like, you've got armor on. Like, what is the armor? I think that, again, some people try to become, you know, it's like, oh, they're going to be so open-minded. Oh, we're so open-minded. Yeah, don't be so open-minded your brain falls out. What the fuck are you thinking not having armor?
Passives to actives. Those imagines work like enchantments on gear. That's the best way that I could put it.
Sure.
They're enchantments. You have a weapon, you add an enchantment to that piece of gear,
Got it.
you get stats that are added to it, right? So one imagine they have just a bunch of stats that they add to your character's power. So think of it that way. You can think of them as accessories too, I guess.
Sure.
I guess you can think of them as accessories. Regardless, that is how your character gets stronger. That is how your character, that is where your character draws its power from.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the imagines. So these right here are your passive imagines. As you can see, they're levels, right? And then these two are your active imagines. The active imagines, they're the same thing as these passive ones. They're the only difference is that you could actually use these as active skills. So it's a little...
I think that as long as they have pieces, like items that you are customizing to improve and personalize to the way that you want to play the game, whether that's called a helmet or an imagine, I don't really give a fuck. But it's about how the game plays and how many different ways there are to play the game. Because if you only have like 1 or 2 ways to play every single class, then, I mean, fuck, this is going to become kind of boring because there's only like 5 or 6 classes or something.
A little bit different. Okay? So if we look at these imagines, once again, all you do is craft them by unlocking the recipe, by farming, and then you upgrade them. That's it. Like,
wow.
it's that simple.
Incredible.
There's no, like, there's nothing else to the imagines once you get it. These active ones are the same. Exactly the same. The only difference is you equip them in a different slot, and then you can use...
I kind of assume that this will get fixed because we only played up to level 20. But if this is the way it is, even at max level, it's going to be problematic.
Them. Okay? So, outside of the weapon, we're going to talk about the weapon here in a sec. This is it. This is the itemization and the gearing process for Blue Protocol. Okay, so now let's talk about the weapon. Well,
it's like there's so many games that have a better, like, it's like, how many games have this low of a level of customization? I'm sure there's some out there, yeah, like Sekiro, for example, but most games are much higher than this, especially for MMOs. Final Fantasy, that's a good point. Yeah, Final Fantasy is pretty cookie cutter.
Weapon works the same way at its base. It works the same way as the Imagines, where you get the recipe and then you farm the mats and then you upgrade, you craft the weapon, right? The only difference is when you craft the weapon, you're gonna have these 4 slots, right? You're gonna have slots anywhere from 1 to 4 slots. And if you get a great success, you can get anywhere from like 2 or 3 or 4 up to 4 slots that you can have. Okay. Which, by the way, you can use a cash up item for. By the way, we're going to talk about the monetization here in a little bit at the end of the segment. So I want you guys to understand the itemization first. So I probably shouldn't have mentioned the cash up part yet. So you've got these sockets, okay? 4 sockets. And on top of this, you have these plugins. And you can think of these plugins like gems. Yeah. And you can think of these sockets, right? Gems that go into sockets as they do in a lot of games, right? These gems, quote unquote gems, the plugins, they have a level from 1 to 5. And you like that's it. That's it. You get plugins anywhere from level 1 to 5, right? And you socket them into your gear depending on the amount of sockets that you have. If you're expecting more, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's it. That's why I'm saying the itemization.
That's crazy. Wow. Oh my god. It's lit. Well, I mean, it's probably be fun for a month. I mean, fuck. I mean, if they just keep it that simple, play that shit for a month, then they're done. To me, it's a bigger concern. Like, you think it's a week? You have not played this fucking game. It's going to take you a month.
Than the actual leveling. They've already addressed the leveling and the drop rates.
Trust me, y'all fucking say it's going to be a week. Remember whenever I said it would take me 6 months to get everything in Lost Ark, and it took me 6 months? It's going to be a month if it's like this.
With the WoW pacing, I actually like the WoW pacing. I'm confident that they are going to fix the adventure boards and the drop rate. This, in my opinion, is the bigger problem with Blue Protocol that I'm really hoping that they fix. For me, itemization in an MMORPG is extremely important. Unless I completely missed something, which maybe I did, guys. Maybe I did because it was in Japanese. I was trying to translate. But nothing I've seen would lead me to believe that I missed something in regards to this. Here's the other issue with the monetization, okay? I have no idea what the heck they're going to do right now. It's like, I can't even call this game pay to win. I'm not sure what's happening here. Because when you look at what they're actually monetizing in some of these tickets that they have, now you're fighting, oh, well, is it going to be pay to win? Or is it going to be too boring for a free-to-play player? What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. Okay, so currently in the beta test, the only way you can get more sockets is by recrafting your gear. So you're just going to farm over and over again. You're going to recraft over and over again, hoping for... Oh, I did forget to mention...
Oh my god, more Gamba shit. I don't know why you can't just upgrade your gear and make it better. Like, why can't we just upgrade the gear? Why is it so hard? Why can't you just upgrade the fucking gear? Like... Really? Why? I don't get it.
That there is an affix that's attached to the weapon on top of the sockets, right? So like this little 13%, I think it's this 13%. I think it's this one here. That's like extra damage to like whatever character. Like let's just say spider mobs. You get extra damage to spider mobs on this weapon. And as you roll your sockets, that value goes up and down as well. So Right now, you have to recraft your gear over and over and over and over and over again in order to hopefully get a great success to have 4 sockets. Now, there is an item in the cash shop that will allow you to enhance your great success rate, which would in turn give you a better chance of having 4 sockets on your weapon. That's been said. That's been already confirmed by the devs in the dev stream. You can purchase an item that will give you a higher success rate, great success rate, that would give you a better affix roll, and it would give you a chance at having more sockets.
Wow.
All right? Call that as you will. Okay. That's in the game. There's also socket tickets in the game. There's an actual socket feature. I'm not going to... maybe I can pull it up. Right here. I think it's like this option right here. It's either this one or this one. And that one of those options, that option is the option to socket your gear. So you can add sockets to your gear using a ticket. They're monetizing.
Oh, that seems fine. I mean, you just buy the ticket, you put the thing on the gear. I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of fine. All right.
Great success rate tickets. But then they also have tickets that allow you to actually get additional slots. We don't know if those slots are... we don't know if that second ticket where you get additional slots, we don't know if that's being monetized or free-to-play players can get it. We don't know. If it's in the form of a ticket, I feel like you will be able to purchase it. But let's just look at this, okay?
I wish more games took the approach that, like, you're starting to see New World take. You're seeing... Final Fantasy takes, Lost Ark takes, minus the other monetization, which is like, you can buy what is effectively a subscription to the game that will allow you to bypass a lot of annoyances, but you can still play it free to play. Because I do think that nowadays, a game like an MMO like this needs to be free to play to succeed. You can't require people to spend money in order to start playing it. Because a lot of people would want to try it out and see what it's like. But why the fuck would you try it out if that requires paying $20 or $40? Whenever you can try out 100 other fucking games that you don't have to spend that much money for.
You have a great success enhancement ticket, and then you have socket tickets. For me, this is confusing because the whole purpose of a great success roll is to get a better affix and to get 4 slots. So what is the purpose of having the socket ticket if that's being monetized as well? So the answer to that, from a pay-to-win perspective, would be, well, great successes don't guarantee you 4 sockets.
Yeah.
From my understanding, they don't guarantee you 4 sockets.
Well, you're never going to allow people to spend money on a game. It's always a mistake for a developer to allow people to calculate the amount of money they have to spend in order to win in the game. It's always better. Like, that's what killed Diablo Immortal, is because if people couldn't figure out how many 5 stars they needed and how often they could get a 5-star, and it's like a lot harder to math this out in their head. It's like, well, how much money is it really? It's so theoretical, you're not really sure. But the moment that you start actually getting down to, it's going to be $7,840 at best and $10,115 at worst. That's it. Well, then you're like, well, I don't want to spend $7,000 to play this fucking game. This is stupid. I'm not going to play. But if you think that you can spend $100 and make $1,000 worth of progress, you're going to do that. You know why? It's because all of these games simulate gambling. That's how they make money.
So let's say you get a great success and you unlock 3 sockets, then that ticket could maybe unlock that last socket. So if that's the case, then it's kind of forcing you into paying to win. But let's say you can get those tickets for free in the game. Let's just say that's kind of best case scenario, it seems like, right?
I feel like if there is something that you have to buy as like a one-time thing, after, like, for example, stash tabs in PoE, I think this is the best comparison. I am completely okay with stash tabs in PoE, because by the time that you have played the game enough to need stash tabs, you have received hours upon hours upon hours of entertainment. And if you don't want to buy the fucking game and spend money on it, then that's up to you. But you can't say that that's got to be like, oh, you know, they need to make it's not a fucking charity. How the fuck are they gonna like afford an office if nobody gives them money? It doesn't work that way.
You can get these great success scrolls, and you can get these socket tickets in the game for free. Well, then that's nice, right? Well, yeah, it is, but at the same time, no, it isn't, because then progression is so easy. I mean, it kind of depends on how you get the socket, but that's where the balance comes in. If you make the tickets, like if you make it so that the tickets are just purchasable like that, then people are going to complain if
because people are going to they're going to get all the sockets. That's just how it is. Yeah, 100%. Somebody in chat says the problem with stash tabs and PoE is they purposefully make the base stash crap. That's making inconvenience to promote spending. Yes, and that's a good business decision. I know you don't like that, but they have to make money. It's a good business decision. How do I know that? Because they're making a lot of money.
Way too difficult to get them the free-to-play way. But then if it's easy to get if they're easy to get the free-to-play way, then what the hell is the itemization in this game? Where's the challenge in actually upgrading your gear? We haven't talked about the plugins yet.
There's no challenge in upgrading any gear in Lost Ark. It's just, oh, I hit the shiny button, did I? Nope. Okay, I hit the shiny. Oh, nope. Oh, I got it. Wow, I knew I'd get it. Let's do it again. Oh, did I get it? Nope. Repeat.
You see, does that make sense? So let's say you could get all these tickets for free. Reasonably easier. Then all of a sudden the value of having four sockets in your gear with a high affix, it's fucking easy. You're gonna get it like that, right? It's gonna be super easy. So now the itemization and progressing your character and getting geared becomes extremely boring. But then, you know, if you make it difficult to get, then, well, now it's pay to win, because I could just buy it and get it like that. And then I'm running into the same problem again, because I could buy it. Now I still have nothing to do.
Nobody
cares.
So
that in itself, to me,
there's like nothing to work for in the game.
It's very concerning. So maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, that's just one part of it, Kenny. Well, it's 50% of it, actually. Well, it's 33% of it. We already talked about the imagines, how easy that shit is. There's literally nothing to the imagines other than just unlocking the recipe and crafting it. There's nothing there. Okay, that's it.
I want to contextualize all of this. In Lost Ark, in Tier 1, you don't have all of your engravings. You don't have gems. I think you do have a card set at that point, but it's like effectively non-existent. You don't have a lot of your skill points unlocked. You don't have your bracer. You don't have, you don't have your set that you choose, and basically you don't have your tripods. That's true. Like, you're missing so many of these features in the game that you only really encounter in Tier 3. Which in Lost Ark is like level fucking like 100 in this game, or level 50 in this game. So keep that in mind. So like, this is low level gaming. I think that what Canon is worried about, and what a lot of other people are worried about, is that this is all there's going to be. So if they showed more of the end game and there was more features that you could customize and upgrade, I think nobody would care.
Get it, and then you equip it, you're done. The weapon that has a little bit of build diversity and a little bit more than just crafting the weapon, you only have two elements to it. You have the sockets and the plugins. Okay, so let's talk about the plugins. So the plugins, they come from a rating of 1 to 5. And from my understanding, you can buy reroll tickets for your plugins as well.
Okay.
So the same issue is there. If I could buy it, then it better be easily obtainable for free to play. But then if it's easily obtainable for free to play,
then why would anybody buy it?
It's like, how boring is that? You see why I'm using the word lackluster for the itemization in this game?
It's boring, yeah,
like, forget about the pay to win elements. Let's just forget about the pay to win and the grind, how easy or how difficult it is. What you have is you have you have sockets. You have sockets for your weapon only, and you have gems for your weapon and weapon only. And then you have your imagines, which are essentially just 5 passive accessories that you get by crafting, by farming mobs, by doing your adventure board, and unlocking the recipes there. Right? For the most part.
Sure.
That's the itemization in Blue Protocol. And for like a AAA MMORPG that I want to have, that I want to play in the long term.
Yeah, it's like you're thinking about this is like, how long am I going to stay invested into this? I think this is a 1-month situation, the way he's explaining it. Like, I'm going to get this stuff min-maxed, I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to get going somewhere else until they bring out something else new.
Like, that's really boring for me.
Because the thing is, they also need to have a whole lot more social things. Holding hands is nice and cute. Press F to consent. Great. But where's the houses? Where's the where are the free companies? Where's the guild halls? You see what I'm saying? You got to have a lot more shit. Yeah, in-game
this all depends on how complex the imagines weapons can be and how impactful it feels. You're right, Chi. You're absolutely right. Which is why I'm saying I'm concerned, and I'm not saying that this game is dead in the water because of this. I'm concerned because we do have a preview as to how it works, right? I don't
give a fuck how the game is on release. If the game sucks dick on release, then it sucks dick on release. New World sucked dick on release, and it got better over time. Some people still don't like it. I think that it's improved a lot. I don't really care about that, but I do also acknowledge this is my personal opinion. Most people, if you think of New World, what do you think of? A lot of people are saying duping, exploiting. All of that shit was like a year ago. But that is the first fucking thing that people come to mind with. Because that was the thing that happened on release. Build 100 bridges and suck 1 dick. You're not a bridge builder, you're a dick sucker. And especially if the first thing you do is suck the dick and you build the bridges afterwards. That's what New World did. So they come back and they say, look at all of our bridges. They say, oh, we know that guy. That's the dick sucker. Oh, he's building bridges now. You guys remember whenever he sucked dick? Yeah. I'm not going over that bridge. Not a chance. And that's what it really is. First, and this is just a metaphor for saying first impressions matter a lot. Even though for me, I'll come back and play a game later on if it improves.
This isn't coming from a complete blind perspective. There's a little build varieties. Like, for example, let's say you're equipping like a level 15 Imagine. There's like a level 15 Imagine that gives you a little bit more build variety. That prioritizes a few more stats here versus this level 15 Imagine. They give you a little bit of a different stat. So I feel like that's where the build diversity is going to be. So essentially it's going to be like, when this game launches, it's going to be like, Aegis Fighter tank roll, you want to target these Imagines for your build.
Sure.
But like that's the extent of it, right?
Wow,
that is what it is.
exciting.
And there's no indicator that there's going to be more to the itemization of this game than what we're already seeing. There could be. Maybe you can do things to the Imagines in the late game. Maybe there's more to the weapons than just the plugs and the sockets.
There has to be.
Maybe. And to be perfectly honest, I think there is a pretty decent chance that they will continue to add progression. Like Lost Ark, you have the elixirs now that affect your character's power. So I'm sure they'll add more things on top of this. For me personally, and I know for a fact for a lot of people that play MMORPGs for the purpose of progression, they're gonna find the itemization in this game extremely lackluster if the game were to release like this.
I can't wait to go from playing Path of Exile to this. Well, that's going to be super fucking exciting.
Anyways, that's my take on this, guys. Maybe we cut that up, upload it to YouTube, get that word out a little bit.
Yeah. I think he's very right about this. And I think that's like the unspoken thing that a lot of people, it's pay to win, it's pay to win, it's pay to win. If you made it not pay to win, it would still be bad. In a lot of these cases with these systems. That's what it is. Yeah, you can't worry about that. People complain about too many systems in Lost Ark and now cry about too few systems in Blue Protocol. Yeah, if somebody's freezing out in the cold and then they, you set them on fire and they're like, well, I thought you wanted to be warmer. Well, yeah, but you didn't want to light them on fire. Like, you can't just... It's like, I understand that it makes sense, right? That, oh, people are so dumb, they don't know what they want. Everybody doesn't want simple or complex. They want something in the middle. Almost everybody does. So whenever you're talking about the complexity in these games, it's not about simple or complex. It's about how simple or how complex. So just because Lost Ark is too complex and has too many systems, or PoE is too complex and has too many systems, doesn't mean that Diablo 3 is better because it's not complex enough and doesn't have enough systems. That's just how it is. You've got to find the medium between the two things, man. And if you can't do that, you're just going to be in a bad position. Let's just say that. But the middle is different for everyone. Lost Ark is not complex at all. Lost Ark is very complex. If you think Lost Ark isn't complex, you probably play video games 40 hours a week, okay? Like, it's a very complex game. There's a lot going on. Got probably 6 characters. Yeah, exactly. Steve Puck's in the middle. Yeah, somewhere around there. And plan on doing Belshazzar hard mode week 1. Probably not week 1, but I will do it at some point, yes. I don't know when I'll do it. Probably doesn't play other games, so if he thinks Lost Ark isn't complex. I mean, I've played, listen, like, I've played, you guys know how many games I've played. I played WoW, Lost Ark, fucking Final Fantasy. I didn't finish Final Fantasy, at least not yet. I played fucking New World like crazy. I played Path of Exile, played Diablo 3, played Diablo 4. I played so many of these games. Like, I know a lot of these systems, and you know how I am. I fucking remember all of this shit. Lost Ark is a complex game, man. It is. It's more complex than New World, I'll tell you that. Like, I would say that you probably have more points of reference in Lost Ark and customization than you do in WoW. More than PoE? No, not more than PoE. It's really not. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but, like, there are just... Why are we even arguing about this? Like, if you don't, I don't give a fuck. Like, anyway, the point is that with this system, I think that, yes, obviously, they need to make gear more complex. Having 4 gem sockets and you can buy one of them is just so boring. I don't even give a fuck that it's pay to win. It's not exciting enough to want to pay to win. It's just boring and slow. So I do hope they can improve this and make it more exciting over time. Again, I'll link you guys the video. Yeah, there you go. It's been a long day for me. I'm going to go ahead and get some sleep, okay? And probably play a little bit of PoE a bit more. And then just relax and go to bed. It's been a long fucking day. I went to bed yesterday at like 9 or 10 a.m. And I had to wake up at like 1. It was a real motherfucker. Oh, God. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, hopefully we're going to try, now that that stuff is over and everything, I'm going to try to move the schedule back. And we'll see how things go with that. So, yeah, that's it. Don't break down on stream, please? Well, I don't do that, man. Like, I am not the kind of person to, like, get fucking... I try not to get emotional on stream, that kind of stuff. It's not my... I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't like doing that. I just... that's not my thing. I was like really fucking fried today, so I'm glad you guys were able to come in and hang out and chill and have fun, you know?